Mic check. Okay, we're good there. What's up, Burge? All right, we're live everywhere. All right, sorry, a little tardier today. Nap ran over a little more. Um, but that being said, as we near the close, although we did move up, it's been a pretty gnarly day in terms of staying sideways. We spent most of the day sitting inside of this box. As we near the end of the day, I would be looking for a loss of 625 if we do have any downside to 623.32. So if you guys can keep your eyes peeled on that one as we near the end of the day, but we haven't lost anything, right? And again, the 24-hour candle hitting the same level that we've been fighting with for months. We're back up here at bat again. And so this is definitely where we don't want to jump the gun on too much. I can't go short off of this, right? Might be able to look at a long speculatively, especially if we fall fast here towards the end of the day and slam into that floor. Um, Again, downside for me is pretty far away, so at this point, just on standby before I try to go and be a hero. But with that being said, Spy is going to be a little bit of a different boat. It did build, but it has broken, and as in terms of the 24-hour time frame, I'm looking at tomorrow as a possible move into the highs. Again, the 290 or 696.22 would be a target, as including the wick. But with this high here, and again, just overnight price action in between us and new highs, at minimum, that's 695, if anything. Today sucked. You know, I said it was going to suck. I woke up, I looked at the suck. I said, not today. I did have a little bit of the suck. Well, hold on, let me pause here. But yeah, it today was just continuation price action. There was a couple of things that did run, but they're individual equities, and if you weren't watching them, it was probably difficult. But I mean, the fact that I walked away with really no loss, after last again, what the fuck am I crying about? Crying the money or something. But with that being said, it was easy to kind of see that potential there. And then Spy definitely taking the lead outside of what the Qs are doing. But these are still sitting up basically at that previous high as well. If you move down into a lower time frame, it does look like we might be able to see some sort of pullback, but that's going to be likely something that is registered. Yeah, I was going to say right there, 693 could be where you get that started, but it's definitely going to be a 5 minute. Yep, there it is. So as we near the end of the day, if we trigger 692.89, might see a little downside trip, but again, I don't force it. It pops out the screen. Every single trade I take it pops off the screen to me. Not every single work, but or every single one of them work, but 80% of them do what we're looking for them to do. Kroger, this one did hit its imbalance, but that's a good example of that today. It went up, hit the imbalance, which is the only target in that empty space, and pulled itself back. So, all right,
Are
now
you still holding next week?
I still have, yeah. IWM,
Okay.
yeah, IWM has held this floor all day and a pop up retest and has just sat here. And I mentioned previously that I did see, especially with that retest, I might look at a speculative trade down um, for continuation. Again, the upside is still there. So, as we get to the end of the day, that opinion may change. Anything back up above 264.66 would qualify as a potential reversal here. Oh, fuck, did I just put that? Oh, there it is. drop in there. Ooh, I made 33 cents on my live stream this morning. Jesus.
You're no J Don.
No, I'm not. Oh, yeah.
He's getting the big bucks for dancing on the.
I don't know about the big bucks. All right. Trying to shift that chart over a little bit for you guys. All right, so I got to keep an eye on that over there. But all right, so IWM, there is a small trigger underneath us from where we've been sitting, which would lead down. You look at the 24-hour, you know, that's kind of hard to look at and not see a potential move to the floor. So we'll move. Yeah, no, that's not true. But we'll see as we get towards the end of the day. Not a bad look on this one, but IWM and QQQ definitely have me scratching my head right now, which means I don't have to trade them. But all right, now I've been waiting for you to go live to ask you a question. What's up, man? What's going on YouTube? Go re-alert everybody. Everybody's sleeping.
What was his question?
I don't know yet.
Come on, man, spit it out.
If we have a bunch of inches to get to know more on how to spot a Potter box, dude. I mean, if you watch me, if you can help out Bush to get it to, so if you watch me, man, I'll show you how or where, and then if you post your charts, if you're in the Discord, that's where I can obviously be a lot of help as well. But yeah, that's something we'd have to talk about DM or something, but. Because I took weeklies on Kroger and I was able to TP those this morning. It gave me a little bit of extra cushion. So I'm permitting a little bit. The one thing I did notice about Kroger, and I'm hoping here at the end of the day, is that it did pull back relatively quickly, leaving behind some empty space. It's got some empty space underneath it that it seems like it wants to go fill, but regardless, if you stopped out of this, good. I mean, again, what I do and you do are two different things. I don't enter trades with bad risk. So like, if my position, if I put $1,000 into this and my position's down to $600, like I'm all right with that, but again, risk to reward. Also, those calls this morning were whoever I sold those to, Lord have mercy. All right. So anyway, all three ETFs, we got those covered. We'll touch back with those as we near the end of the day. Got a kind of gone over Kroger, but I want to go over Netflix really quickly as this one reeled me in today, but did not end up doing anything. However, it did hold, which I obviously was looking to see if it would do, and it was just barely by the wicks, and it seems like it might want to crawl back up where it has a pretty decent play to $87, and we know that it could lead somewhere much higher with a move into this empty space at $91. So is Top Step a good program? I mean, I think the prop firm, if you're learning and you're new, I'd rather not use prop firms. I'd rather use $50 or $100 and some options and take one a piece. But I can't really speak on prop firms because I don't need them. Okay, so I mean, again, with Netflix, I really am kind of being patient here because I can't, if I act too soon and this thing pops up and then falls back down, I'm in for it. Um, and that's obviously something I'm not willing to hold, but anyway, that's what I'm looking at the moment. Um, I'd like to see it above 86.27 to make a final decision on this one. All right, now I decided not. Oh Jesus Christ! I decided not to get into meta today. It's the cost of the contracts is just too much. But going into earnings, this is obviously a great look to go up and to hit your floor. Honestly, if you are still holding the position that we took at the beginning of all of this, uh, throw that in the trash. Yeah, so to and I one of the things that you're doing when you're looking to spot a box is you're looking for points of contact. So whether that be a wick in a body or two wicks in a body, it's points of contact at the same price. And it's on the 24-hour target or 24-hour chart that you're looking for it. So I'm just going through my watch list really quick. Lulu didn't really do much of anything today, stayed in range, so we're not really moving on that one. Pins is still holding the floor, so I don't know if this one's just waiting for news or something, but it is a really, really interesting setup now that it does have the floor. I'm sure long-term expirations might be able to slip into something with a good stop loss, probably off of that 2767. Uh, this one did not do anything. I have not moved on it, and it rejected. So that's about it. What firm would you recommend for a new guy? For a new guy? What firm would I recommend for a new guy? I mean, if you're a new guy, you should be learning a strategy, not trying to make money. Learn strategy, make money. Want to make money, you just want to make money. But also, when you buy a prop firm, dopamine, right, goes off in your brain. The imagination starts running. You start thinking of all the possibilities and you know models and bottles and money everywhere. But you don't know shit. So if you're new, then you're gonna buy that prop firm. You're gonna try to go through the value. You're gonna try to apply what you have not, maybe you have, but not completely. Or maybe you haven't, and you're gonna find out. But that's sort of that's a trap because right there they've got you in a money cycle where you're not really learning, you're just traumatizing yourself. And anytime you get over that trauma, you feel like you're learning, but you haven't actually made any changes because you haven't actually learned the strategies. Anyway, you see how the rabbit holes kind of.
Models and bottles got me, bro.
Yeah, you got it. So I would focus on strategy first. Everybody goes after the money first. Don't be like everybody else. I need to learn this. It's like the Infinity Stones. You can't touch it with your bare hands, man. Gotta. Actually, that wasn't a good analogy. All right. All right. So, like I said to you guys before, I'm obviously got these two on my watch list. I'm chill right now as far as taking a position or rushing into anything. I did see a couple of your guys' trades work out. So good for you guys. If you guys did catch, I think Zoom took off today. I know some of you guys were holding that one. It hit my $96 target. 95.90, sorry. Shoot me. I was off a couple of pennies, but yeah, just go ahead and drop your chart. Um, but if you are holding this one, it's not retreating, so definitely potential continuation up there. But what's going on with Tesla? That's what happens when you trade inside of a weekly range, my boy. When you're going into earnings, prepping for the move, they're saving that sauce. Now today, ugh, that's a third rejection over the top. I mean, technically, shouldn't have qualified that as a box. You have two off the top and one off the bottom, so it's just a range, and that was where you needed to go for that break. But unfortunately, it opened up with the doji, failed to go for that break, failed to build, and I would be looking for a bounce at 430.50. But remember, earnings is right around the corner, and you've got max consolidation on both sides. Depending on the cost of those contracts, I definitely would consider that. So. Yo, when did you all enter Zoom? I wasn't in Zoom. I just want to say thank you for all the insights. Much appreciated. I'm a silent viewer here and on TikTok, learning as I go. I'll try to join the membership soon. Whenever it feels right, man. Don't rush it. whenever the water's warm. Actually, unless it's a jacuzzi, I wouldn't get into warm water. Freak me out. All right. So nothing has changed other than a retest today. You did pull yourself back up. So at best, we're hoping for range, but today's low did, yeah, lower time frame box. So watch as I move down. All of a sudden I have range, right? I have a box. It's always going to be there. So underneath 345.91, that's your last saving grace. You could be looking at a definite pullback to 399. The benefit of today's price action is you did leave behind a box and you did leave behind empty space. So I think at the moment, judging by what you've got going on here, if you can just keep it up, you should be looking at that floor. So where did you send your chart? In the free Discord or something? Oh no. You and listen, dude, do not I don't ever want somebody to like ever, like I really mean this. I don't want anybody to ever stretch their pockets. You know, I know some of you guys have admitted to stories of using your truck payment to get into the Discord. Not my favorite. You know, I'm glad it worked out and your wife didn't beat you, but don't focus on getting the membership. Focus on catching all of my live streams. If you can focus on that, watch the YouTube videos and be vocal and ask me questions, you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna be way ahead. So, and the goal would be to obviously start with a small amount, follow us into some trades after you learn the language and it makes sense to, you know, why I'm getting into what I'm getting in. And then, you know, if you do make some money or make a little bit of cash and it's equal to the workshop or something, then you go for it. Yeah, I
I got
got you.
scammed by you.
What'd you say?
You freaking scammed me into
Scammed.
your dis.
I scammed you into the Discord. Damn, dude. Sorry. I'm sorry. Scammed again.
Worst scam.
Worst scam. I know. I make you the money
You're the
to
worst
buy
scammer.
my course. Okay. So I'm looking at your box or your, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's so what I'm looking at is this. And that obviously you don't have the bottom, you don't have the top. That's a separate box. So you're looking, right, when you're looking at these stocks, you want to try, so like here's that 15-minute, and that's I guess the higher time frame. But look, points of contact, top, points of contact, bottom. See how they all line up? And then up here, two off the top. There's only one off the bottom, but it's still a range, right? So sometimes, yeah. Netflix is the worst to trade. It has been, but it won't be that way forever. Netflix is actually really awesome. If you catch it. It's a, I mean, yeah. Look at these expansion candles. I mean, even the downside's actually pretty disgusting too. Once upon a time we shorted that mother, and that was pretty fire too. All right, well, I'll cover that in just a second. Let me get through these requests as we're 16 minutes in, so. All right. Yeah, if you have anything you want me to take a look at, go ahead and drop your request down and let me know which way you're wanting to take it, please. SMR down. The more information you include, the more help I can give you. 1737 would be the first target to the downside. That's what you had to break to get here. So yes, I mean, that is a good candle close. The candle close is below that 1909. So yeah, I could see that happening for sure. Not a little bad little play there. Good candle close up against the floor. Adobe. Okay, so today obviously show it didn't no box, right? We haven't built the box like we were talking about, which is okay. And let's look right here. Okay. So here's how you're going to deal with this one, right? Give it the hourly range. Build this. And so right now we're looking at 302 and 301.75 as two areas to hold. But as far as I'm concerned, you're building well enough to start looking for at least 308. So yeah, SMR does look pretty decent with that candle close there. So, all right, what else do we got? Uh, start. The charts on TikTok are so small. Yeah, there's. I could do landscape mode, but as far as Starbucks is concerned, the first target is 103, right? If you go for longer expirations, you could look at 110s for sure, but 103 is the first and most tangible target ahead of us. There's lots of empty space, but all right. RGTI earlier, good to go. As far as I'm concerned, if you've taken this short off of that expansion candle down and you're got a good stop loss around 22.94, yes, you are looking for this wick to get lost, and your next target tomorrow or maybe overnight would be 2015. All right, what else do we got here? In the live, make sure you post them in the chat bubble because I don't see them. Carla. Let me see. Here's my QQ chart for I was supposed to get in when it broke 227. $622. I was supposed to get it when it broke and retested 622.87, but I couldn't pull the trigger when I did. It was closer to the top. Closer to the top? Like almost to the top here? How do I get over this? Because I've been struggling with entering trades recently, even when the chart tells me that it's okay. I mean, lower time frame trades like this are going to always be harder. And in fact, the way that I have it set up is that if I'm taking lower time frame trades, uh, again, if you're scalping, hotkeys are going to be essential, so that way you can fill in and fill out and make that split. I know it sounds silly, but if you're using a phone, or even like a desktop brokerage without some sort of hotkey to get in, that's latency. It will cause something or cause some anxiety. Sorry, but when the chart tells me it's okay. So I mean, this analysis really doesn't make sense to me. Just being straightforward you on this one. I'm not really sure what you got going on this, but I do see, where you're looking at the break. This makes sense, right? Obviously, I can't see what's coming from the left or where your structure is. But shit, I mean, even this retest here off of 622, like you said, and then the punch through this box or re-break over 620, whatever that is, 622.50 maybe, or no, 622.75, 622.80. That's, again, when you practice every single time that these setups, especially if you're new, starting with smaller position sizes, 2 to 3 contracts a piece, until you get some grease on your wheels. Everybody kind of has a different way of like, kind of getting over that fear. For me, it's always been, um, logical step downs like, okay, we just retested this box. That's buyer's strength. What would sellers do in this position, right? What were they trying to accomplish? If they can't do their job, where are they holding? And so I'm constantly trying to problem solve in order to quell my own anxiety about getting in and out of trades. Um, and so without maybe even proper analysis, again, I'd like to see maybe what your chart looks like a little bit further to the left, but you are going to, and I know you're new, so I can say this, but you are going to have to practice that getting in, when you see that bounce, or getting in as that candle goes to close, watching the timer. But all of this just takes, obviously lower time frame trading is going to take up a lot more of your time and brain power. So they make sense on lower time frame. It just, yeah, okay. You're on desktop. So I mean, the only way to practice pulling the trigger is to pull it. I mean, and to maybe do it, what if it's size that's holding you back, maybe reduce your risk a little bit. Or maybe you're getting the lower time frame nerves and you need to back off. A lot of the times that's it. So for Kroger, I still like Kroger a lot. In fact, as we near the end of the day here, it's actually holding up. It's into the bargain, and it's got good empty space. Probably a decent place for that average down, with the stop loss being 63.50. But I still actually really like it. The 24-hour candle obviously isn't super favorable, but I've definitely seen worse on its journey to the upside. So, yeah, I'm still okay with this one. Worst case scenario here is move back all the way to 61. If you want to hedge yourself for that, you can do that. But I move my camera or something. What is wrong with my camera? Okay. Let me just say this, Carla. It also took me about 4.5 years. And again, I wasn't focused on day trading anyway. After I kind of gave it up, I had a really bad taste in my mouth. But it took me 4 years to learn how to size up from hedging, like intraday hedging. So like it wasn't something that I was always completely comfortable with. The more that you do something, right, the more that you're problem solving in these areas, in these lower time frames, and I'm not going to say paper trade, because I think it takes the emotional element out of it. But if you can acknowledge like, hey, this is something I need to work on, then when you're trading, that's what the purpose is, to work on that. Not necessarily like, okay, I see a good setup, right? Money could obviously come out of this, but the goal is to take this trade as the candle is nearing closing or outside of it, and work with a little bit less size that's well within your risk, so that way you're not risking much, and work on those nerves. um it happens to me. I mean, still to this day, I sometimes get in my own head about stuff. So especially when I get sucked into lower time frames, like on Netflix today, I saved myself from possibly going red. It's something that'll pass though. All right, what else do we Apple. Oh shit. Apple followed Microsoft today? No way. So that is, listen, that look right there, that wick. What did I remember what I told you guys about what seller's worst nightmare is? Is one of these candles down here pulling you back up. That is exactly what this is. And I mean, these expansions, I guess, yeah, you had a decent gap up today, but you got the punchback, you got the empty space, and this just goes to show you why you should be focusing on these sort of setups, right? It's actually, still why I'm focused on Netflix. The only difference is it did go up, it did hit the 50% mark, and it did get pulled back down. And it's honestly something that at this point, now that I'm on the sidelines with it. I'd like it to pull back, cause, or at least, a little bit, so that way we have a good opportunity to get in. So Elf update. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it went back for a retest of the volume block underneath it. It is going green off of that. Typically in these areas, I look at where the previous resistance was set. We have one there, and we have one here. So with that being said, yes, we got a good bounce. We need to go fill the empty space up and start working our way towards the structure overhead, which I believe will be a move over 94 bucks. So, but yeah, we're looking really good on that one. Thank you guys for tapping your screen on TikTok. Appreciate you. Do you think silver is maxed out after a wide range of cover today? I think what you're seeing here is just this. Which, what is this, guys? I always ask this question, everybody kind of forgets. What is that? Right? Even though it's small, it's a wide fluctuation in price,
I'm out.
essentially, right? But it starts trend. What the fuck are we listening to? This is the worst music I've ever heard in my life. Somebody made that in a dark place. All right. So, with that being said, right, I look for the same signs in areas like this: wide fluctuation in price, and then something like that. A lot of the times, some of the small context clues, because it's not always, this is a tough thing to teach people, right? Because it kind of comes off of instinct, but it's there. Do you see it? The skeleton, there's little signs you'll be able to see. And this is only, if you're doing this technically speaking, you're still fine. You don't have to be good at that. That's just that's a little bit of extra sauce. Um, but above, or basically back up above $100, all of that empty space is yours to recover. So this wide range could actually set it in motion next Monday. Oh, nah, bro, used in trendline liquidity. This is not trendline. Parallel channels, D2, S5, 6. Parallel channels, and you can clown them if you want, but if they don't match up with points of contact across the board, I don't use them. I make fun of people who use trend lines as much as you probably do. I think that's hilarious, because drawing a trend line, well, it's my trend line. Come on, man. What was that one little line gonna do for you?
That's hopium at its finest.
Oh man, that's the worst. I see there's this lady on that does crypto charting, and I had to block her today because I just can't look. It's like she's like crypto weather or crypto chick or something like that. She's an older lady, and dude, her charts are just lines. It looks like fucking a Roblox Spider-Man just was swinging all over her chart. She's got like 9 indicators. It looks like it's on life support. It's got that many indicators on it. It's like good God, man. Let me look at Apple. You said why do they expire on Monday? Of when? Do we have a holiday coming up? What are those monthlies? February 6th. Not exactly sure. I'll take a look at that in just a second. Ah, okay. Okay, I mean, Carla, I think your charts could be cleaned up a little bit. I'm not exactly sure where, like, so like, let's see. Why can't I pull your damn chart? There it is. So like right there, if that's a box, you cut that whole top off, right? So like that's got to be secured if that's where you were looking to take your trade. Um, Also right here, you know, you have this box build, so I mean that would have been a good place to take that trade. All right. Thanks, you handsome. Get out of here. Asana upside. I got in this morning. My alert went off and it passed my first target of 1150. Okay, not bad. Yeah. Okay, so you got a floor reclaimed. Good. You got the first set or the second green candle to your left reclaimed. That's also good. And so now you can move to the 4 hour and simplify this setup. Looks like you have a cost basis at 1171. Actually, let's do the 2 hour. I feel like this is, yeah, 1 hour. It's going to clean it up. Yeah, so you're in a good place right now. Obviously, floor has been reclaimed. You got this underneath you to protect. So you're just looking to move through that structure where you have a nice little gallop right up to 1275. So it's not looking bad. Also, if and I'm going to say this, I've said it before. If you're about to get into a trade at the bell, if you're a scalper, a day trader, I may not be taking what you're taking with you, but I certainly can look at what you're looking at. I have that level of ADHD where if it's at least in front of me on the same screen, I can flip back and forth. So, you know, if you, especially those of you guys who are learning, you know, again, this Discord is primary purpose, uh, over everything else is to learn how to be an independent trader. So that is priority always. Unless I think you're weird.
Man, I can't tell what you're looking at anymore. You took away your ticker.
Oh, the ticker's right there. You can't see it? Oh, I guess, yeah. You know what? I could probably put that back since we've I got past the little thing, whatever it is called. There we go. No, but my fucking camera is so weird right now. I don't know why it's doing this. There we go. RGTI is ripping. Yeah, it's ripping down. If anybody got into that one, you're looking for the target of you got a couple of big targets here, right? That $20 target's going to be huge. Hopefully you can butter through that and get straight to 1831. So yeah, you are. All right. AMD, how's that one looking? Which direction? Because right now it's starting to look a little heavier. And yesterday, I think, yeah, yesterday maybe I got somebody asking me about potentially shorting this one. It's still up. You know, it's still holding up what it needs to hold up. Still got a couple of levels here that it needs to surpass. You know, a little bit of weakness. There's a lot of people who are probably like, yo, AMD short. Retest explosion. You know what I mean? So in an uptrend, that's actually why it is actually so hard to be short in an uptrend, is because when buyers step in, dude, that shit can go fast. You got to be on point with that. So anyway, with that being said, I do like the pop back up and over 257.75 for the upside. So that's your stop loss if you're short, or not your stop loss, but your worst case scenario. And then this right here, which is 255.55, that's what you broke down underneath. That's what you need to stay below. An hourly candle close, I think getting underneath 250.40 will get the ball rolling in the right direction, where you do have a pretty straightforward retest of 239.50 that I would be looking for. So, all right, let's speed this up a little bit more. This new view is worse than what? I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, RGTI was not a get into this trade ever. It was a You know, if you wanted to speculate, you could, but it was both sides that had the potential. So hopefully you waited. Do you do 0-day options? I not always, no. Occasionally, I focus on, you know, a week or week to 2 weeks out on my most of my expirations. But occasionally, yeah. There's some speculative setups that are just too juicy. Can we get a live stream of you polishing Jay Diamond's head? Maybe. You'd have to pay me for that. All right, what else do we got? Let's try and speed run the rest of these here. What's my opinion on Kroger? I still think it's fine. Today's pullback was fast enough, so. All right, let's see here. AVGO down or up. And yeah, so that's exactly what I was talking about today. This is your grip, right? I could say that goes as far down as 324, but preferably you'd stay right here around 325.50. So I mean, you're not in a bad place at all on the 24-hour. Yeah, it looks fine. The wick is off of the bottom of the first green candle to your left, so obviously you're not too far from that. Looks good.
Hey, you got 66 for next week's on Kroger's too, or 67s?
66.
I got both. I'm just asking.
I got 66. All right. I got my window closed right now.
But it's okay to go a couple steps out though.
Yes, as long as the target gets hit, yeah. As long as you have volume within 3 strikes of what's out of the money now. I mean, weekly this looks yeah. Oh my god. So this has to, I mean, honest. Ugh. Yeah, you can see it. It's scrambling my words. I could see it happening, but this is one of those setups where you got so much to move through that volume is essential, and typically that volume comes from some sort of news. So until you're above 57.84, I don't want to, that doesn't look great to me. Once we start breaking these above $60 and 61.50, obviously that play would open up, but it's so far away, and you know you're going to need a longer expiration to get to that target. So if fast is still holding, fast it is curling up now as we speak. The goal is to get above 44.06 in order to see continuation to the upside. So still on that one. V watching that one, yeah, for sure. I mean, Visa is known for trying to or for making these little bottom boxes. It's so choppy. I think we talked about this one. So the 24-hour, I mean, that's a lot of friction. Another really scary thing that I, you know, again, would never trade, but yes, I can't sit here and act like it doesn't have a play above 331.50 up to that wick at 337.60, and of course possibly even to the gap, but you do have the floor here at 342.87. So yeah, not my thing, but MasterCard and Visa, the contracts have always just been a little weird, and price action's just not super fluid, so I genuinely avoid it. So damn, how many of you guys went long on RGTI, like all the way? That's one I mean, I definitely, you know, I feel like I made that one pretty clear as far as, you know, we don't have an official trigger. You could speculate, so hopefully nobody's burning or really getting their ass beat today.
No crying in the casino.
This is more like no crying in math class, you know what I mean? Or in engineering class. That's obviously a loss of the floor. Yes, I would be looking down to 78.12. That actually looks good for a pullback. So love down that you could consider that one for sure. However, you're in the thick of it, right? And so, like KSI.
Doesn't this one have earnings this week?
It does, I believe. Yeah, it has been known to hit these dumpies on earnings. You know what? That one actually looks good down here to 38, depending on what those contracts cost. So, I mean, I could see this one pulling back to 38. Overhead, not much. There's not much empty space. So that's the only play I see with it potentially punching down. So I'm going as fast as I can here, guys. I can't compromise on analysis. Oh my God. Okay, so you're looking at something lower. So the question here, and you're on the 4 hour. Okay, I see what you're doing. You're way down here. So let's straighten this up. There. It's a range. 146.16. It's not a tremendous amount of empty space, but you could look for a 148.15 target and 149.80. So it's a good rebound for sure. But also, Pepsi is, whew, Pepsi's Pepsi. Mm. That's a funky setup right there. Just in a weekly range, which is difficult to trade. So, all right, let's see here. What's up, yo? What do you want to know about Google? I need more requests than that. What about Google is I see multiple people asking for it, but nobody's telling me which direction are we looking at taking this. Google is a search engine. Charlie, weren't you the one that was telling me not to talk about politics? Google's floor is at 332.12. 1, 2, 3. You pull back. You have not lost anything. So I would either venture to guess a gap down to that. If you're, this is a big moment, right? This is either going to spell that third rejection or second down, and you got empty space down, or religion or ethnicities. Yeah, you ever tried not telling anybody what to do? Try this. Try this one. How's that? Go fuck yourself. Yeah, coming here to ask me for help. Try and come on now. So I mean, yeah, the you can make a move on it, try to play a rejection, but this is a weird spot. Not a bad spot, but it is a weird spot, I think, because you still haven't made a higher high. You have this potential downtrend. You're still this is a really it's a pinchy area, man. Huh. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So to me, you could either leave this up to chance or take a trade now and just, fucking fuck it, which doesn't seem super smart, or you could wait for one or the other, right? Um, I mean, I don't know what the contract costs are. If you could get away with something, I'd be looking at 327.75, and then if I'm taking a trade like this, I'm trying to get more than that, but there's not much underneath you here, so they got
Have
news
you
or something
looked at
about
Meta?
censorship. What have I done? What?
Well, I was asking if you looked at Meta already.
Yeah, just not going to take it for earnings. It's just too expensive. I can't do it. So I mean, it looks like it's going to blast off, and it's got a on the 4 hour here at that 687 wick, and then the floor right around 689. It's got a shit ton of empty space all the way to 745. I'm not calling for that number, but it is meta. So is this regular trading hours? Yeah, now it is regular trading. Yes, this is regular trading hours. Soon as the bell rings, it is not. Does this move? You said AAL up on earnings. Well, here's what I can tell you about AAL. Right off the bat, getting rid of all this garbage, you are dead slap center between there and there, right? So it would have to be some magic. I mean, American Airlines picks you up at your fucking house via boom tube, reverse boom tube, just sucks you up through the chimney. I don't know, but that would be insane. So and then again, the first thing is always, does it move? And it definitely does have downsides. So you would probably say, because you're going into earnings under 15, I would be leaning more further down than anything else. NBTS, nope, NBT. Wow. Yeah. Setups like this one, man, I don't jump the gun on them. You do have a ton of empty space down, and if you're trading it for that, I guess you're not jumping the gun on that one. So you are kind of punching down. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. That does. All you have is 905, but that's a straight shot down to 820. Not bad. 10 minutes. I remember you said you use extended hours trading, not regular. Yeah, but it is regular trading hours now. I use extended hours at all hours. It doesn't matter what time it is, because I need that after hours structure. So, Wells Fargo up. I'm assuming they have earnings too. No, they already did. Okay, so Wells Fargo's, and what has it done? Very good. So you came down, get some structure, wicked off of where you need to get above, telling you that's green, right? That's where we go up. So we translate that down to the lower time frame, and as we do that, we see a box, right? Points of contacts on the wick right here, and once again, cost basis is always there. So what do we need first? We need a candle close above 88.41. We need a punchback over $89. And then at that point, 91, which also lines up with your previous floor too as well. So that's quick math. I'm going Amazon, 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 Amazon. Oh my God, you guys are trading some absolutely difficult setups. 100%. What do you guys want to do to this one? A month out, 260. So here's a period end of story for me. I might have tried it here. And in order to get back to that floor, you're clearly in need of a move above the 240s. But it is, in fact, 243.32 that must be reclaimed. That 4 hour candle. Okay, so that is interesting, but doesn't change anything. Hey, buddy. Oh, what? Oh, Ellie. Oh, Ellie. Oh, what? My butt over there. You get your butt over here. Oh, all right. Off camera. Off camera. Yep. Weirdos out there. I'm not making you coffee right now while I'm trying to make money. You want money or do you want coffee? You want money? All right. Me too. We can get coffee with money. Little capitalist. Money, 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 money. Yo, I forgot to tell you guys, AO, we hopped back on Fortnite, and we're all me, AO, and Ellie are playing. I play Fortnite with them, and now, of course, they want skins. And AO's like, he's bartering. He's starting to think of leverage and stuff like that. It's crazy to watch. You will never guess what he recalled as like leverage. He goes, wait. He goes, wait, Dad. Didn't I help you make money on that that name, that stock that had my name?
Yo.
Yeah, EO. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, and he just looks at me, and I'm like, there's no way, bro. Like, he gave me that look with his eyebrow raised. I was like, no way, dude. There's no way you're this smart already. That you're like, wait, hold on, Dad. Like, low key, I kind of help you. Like, holy shit. That's a good
Gotta
time.
respect it.
You know what? Got to. All right, so now looking at this setup, I could see a pullback on, and it's too soon to say, but with price not accepting that 240.60, I kind of see the pull 235.94, and then maybe you can get up in there. But I will say this, right? I mean, hold on. Let me back up. Let me see if I can see. So that's what's held you down. That's what you've retested. That's what you fought to stay above, and now you're closing up against it. So I would definitely be leaning at least to that 243.27. And if you can get over 248.27, sure. All right, we got 6 minutes. Remember, you do not have to take a trade if you do not find one. Especially if you made that cash, baby. Is this setup right? How come we ignored the wicks? Points of contact, my friend. But yes, that setup is correct.
Say pardon on that NVTS trade.
Yeah.
Next week's contracts for $8 are like 15 cents.
The only thing that I find a little alarming, so I'll just point this out to you. Right, let me tell you guys a story. Fast price action, again, what you lose. So we definitely have lost a good bit. But if you look right here, whip out, drive down, fast. What do you hit? Always structure, bounce, punch back, empty space gets filled. You stop when you fill it, then you end up making a new high. Now I wouldn't call for that quite yet, but you are here. And what happens here, I'm not exactly sure. So a week of expiration that's the only thing I'm saying right now is like maybe a little bit of time, or if it is next week's expiration, sure, but 8/20, maybe even 2, But anyway, I'm longing Apple. I love the daily setup. It's not a bad setup at all. It does have a punchback. It does have empty space. So it's a decent at the moment for sure. Tomorrow, a lot of the times you can just use these red candles here. Depends on where we open up. If we gap up, that's a different story. But if we open up anywhere in range, I would look at a 253.89 retest. That guy's name is Butthole Crocs. The hell's that even mean? All right, Amazon, CRWB. Dude, this one, I think, I mean, after seeing today's price action, seeing it get pulled down, at best range, but also with all that empty space down there, it is right pretty much now that you need to be seeing a bounce. So, SCCO, Southern Copper Corporation. That's right, everybody's going after copper. Oof. So Carla, again, all-time highs. So that's going to be where obviously I'm not able to help as much. The gap down or the gap up has led you to a retest, and that's about it. Now, candle closes show me that this right here is a very important level and also a gap fill. So definitely look at 185.22 as a bounce level. A lot of the times when you make these highs, I start looking for, you know what? No, I'm not going to, because that channel looks like shit. So yeah, again, you're super bullish if you're trying to short something like silver, any of these commodities right now. You are going against the grain. Oh, copper has followed, Carla. If you look at copper, it has followed. Now, if there was another copper, if you could find another copper setup that was more at its lows or still had price action above it, we could look at that for sure. All right, it's 2 minutes. Really seen anything that's just making me feel. And right now, I'm pretty much. I think I'm done with my account for now. Other than just managing, I don't think I'm. I think I'm gonna try to take swing trades. You know, maybe very clear day trades on. Oh my god, on the small account this week. So, oh my god, what the fuck?
Forget your father-in-law's account.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't want to get banned from the farm, man.
Or banned to the farm. Oh, no way.
Put you out there in the chicken coop.
Imagine her dad coming out. Hey, Potter, let's go to the pasture real quick.
Oh, man. You know what he loves to pour as a drink? You'll never guess.
Everclear.
No. No.
Hennessy.
He thinks it's so funny, too. You guys, I'm surprised you didn't guess it. Peanut butter tequila.
Bismol.
Peanut butter tequila. And then
Peanut butter
he
moonshine.
he
I
pours
didn't
he
even know
pours
that
he pours razzmatazz in it. So all right. I'm having a tough time. Like, a lot of conspiracy theories just hit my brain as soon as I looked at this. But I'm jumping to conclusions here. And the thing is I don't even know if there is a conclusion here to be drawn. Other than, I mean, look at these tight, check this out. This is unforgiving trading range. Like, I get there's been a couple of solid little day trades, maybe a swing trade here and there, but I remember taking a trade on NVIDIA in this range and overnight swing trade, and it was trash. It didn't even move. And I think I ended up stopping out of it. But if you look at this, it bunches up and then it like gaps, and then it bunches up and then it gaps, and then it bunches up, gap, bunch, gap down, bunch, and now you're in that same thing. But as far as like putting my thumb on like a direction, let me also just say this. You're in a monthly range. So at best, I can give you the top, which would be 208. Now, how you get there would probably be best transcribed here. But damn if you weren't far as fuck away from that. Right? And that's going to be the first resistance overhead. You also have this range, weird 199 mark, and then a gap at the top, which would be that 205 area. So I was going to say tequila, but who could guess peanut butter? I'm surprised people in the Discord who have been in here who know anything about me and know about my my long fight with peanut butter. But yeah, he does put jelly in it, which, you know, it's it saves it. Is that a valid channel, the one that you posted inside of the thing?
Does he make you drink it with him?
Listen, if your name wasn't that, if your name wasn't, if it wasn't this, then I could, I could, you know, maybe let you hop
What
up on
does that say?
stream. What do you mean? What is that? Shut the fuck up. That's fucking hilarious. That's a valid name. What do you mean? Get out of here, dude.
Why was that name so valid?
No, it's a name. It's a screen name.
Fella-
Have you not played Call of Duty? Like as a screen name, it
Hell no.
could be Ass Surfer, and I would say that's a valid name because it's just a name. I'm not saying that I agree with the name. I personally am not doing any ass surfing, but I would say that is a valid name for a Discord. You know what? Anyway, I'm scared to take SMR puts because at the end of the day, bouncing my nuts. I think you're okay. I mean, I don't know if you did. Sorry, I just saw it's 402, so you can't take them anyway. But no, I mean, you just have the wicks to clear now at 1872. That is the old floor. So I mean, if anything, maybe it gives you a little retest. Bro, you're acting like it's gonna end your career. What if I did like achieve some massive level of virality and somebody has a clip of me being like, "Yo, what's up?" And then your name. You think that can't get twisted? It's over for me, dude. Shit, if you sent that to WTOC, my local news network, and you were like, "Watch out for this guy," and you had that recording, might get me beat up, you know. Also, there's Stelio too, so you know he's. I'm in the Discord for 5 seconds. No, AB, please. It's not what it seems, dude. It's not what it seems, man.
I like how Celio is the first person you think of when you see that name.
Because he's traumatized. No, because he's traumatized me when I'm put in racially tense situations.
That's what it is.
All right, I'm out of here. That smile says everything. Bro, you better chill, dog. All right.
We got to give
anyway.
you one of those like word association games just to really get to know you.
Like where you just go real quick.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, that's
It's the
fucked
first
up.
thing- the first thing you think of when you see that name.
A redneck. That's the first
Yeah,
thing I
you
think
took
of.
too long to answer.
No, it's that. Listen, my GPU is a little slow right now, dude. All right. Anyway, anything else? Yo, Ivan. I'm scared. Let's see here. Amazon, NVIDIA, hot dog water. Wow, they added Monday and Wednesday expirations for NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla. Why is that? Actually, I don't know that. I don't. Does anybody else know why they did that? Because I actually don't know. Oh, sorry. Is the channel
does that
correct? That you apparently they added Monday and Wednesday expirations for NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla. Are they adding ODTEs for the fucking big heavyweights or something?
Is it just for
It might
this
be.
week?
I don't. It says
Extracting more
next
money.
Monday.
It might
I
be
know.
because of February, shorter month.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody in here, yeah, it's a good point. If anybody in here is looking at Google or any of these stocks because Nancy Pelosi is looking at them, you don't know what she's doing to her portfolio. Like how she's putting herself in position, I mean, she could be reserving short or shares to go and then, go short against them. We don't know how that's going to be interpreted, but I'll also just bring your attention to, and while this may have paid off in the moment, I don't know if anybody remembers this. This is for the OGs out here. I had a theory about going short on Roblox. I think it was right about there. If I'm not mistaken, and maybe it was this one. No, it wasn't. If I'm not mistaken, the news came out and intraday the chart shot up, right? Nancy Pelosi has bought, $150 calls on Roblox, or maybe it was equity. It was Nancy Pelosi who moved in. And I remember I like dug in my heels and I was like, nah, no way. Like it might have even been in this box. Go check my YouTube in December of 2021. Maybe you'll find it. But anyway, I mean, dude, it just dumped to $20 fucking from that high, from when all of this was supposed to happen. It dumped all the way to $20 before basing for, let's see, 2022 to all the way to 2024. So for basically 2 years, and then it finally takes off. So she does have a outlook, but her plays don't take off immediately. I mean, she might just know something that we don't, that's going to be happening in the next 2 years, so who knows?
And they got millions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's
How
such
can
thing
you
as
even
calculating losses, taking trades on purpose that you're going to lose. It's a real thing. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, I do it all the
yeah.
time.
Yes,
My
your
boy said,
channel
yeah,
is
dude.
correct. On Wells Fargo, yeah, your channel is correct. I just looked at it. Oh shit. How are you guys are hearing double of me on TikTok right now? That's crazy. Nobody said anything either. It's crazy. Which stock do you recommend for a swing trade? It doesn't work like that, man. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. We are constantly hunting for a specific setup that abides by my strategy, and if I don't find it, it's not on the watch list. So, which stock is the thickest? Hold on, listen. Let me think. Which stock makes it clap? IWM. It's got to be it.
Wait, what are you saying? You're swinging IW.
That's not what. That's crazy. Maximilian, what's up, dude? You remember me? Is your strat public? I mean, yeah, nobody likes me, so that helps me stay like almost like nobody.
What are you
Yeah.
talking
You
about?
know what?
Nobody likes
You-
you. I like you. What are you
Well,
talking about?
I meant in the other creators. You know what's actually mad funny is when I went into Alex Trade stream, because I have a new profile, so he popped up. I went into his stream, and one of the last things he said before he goes, "This is why the trading community rejects you." I'm like, would you trust somebody who's in a trading community? I don't know. Let's give something to think about. But anyway, love you, bro. Happy to see you back on my algorithm. Yeah, it's dope that I'm back
Yeah.
on your algorithm, man. Hell
Otter, look at the. I swung Q's that puts for the mark for the mark.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This man says short the U.S. economy. Well, the 24-hour candle definitely doesn't say short, but you do have a rejection overhead off of that previous. I mean, and this has been a noxious resistance at 627.75. Good God. Listen, I'm gonna make this clear because and nothing against your position. Maybe you might have taken a good speculative one. But we have a lot to break down underneath us, including the box that we've built. And I mean, when I say you held on to this floor, right? Look at the days. That's 2 4-hour candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles pull themselves up, followed by the 7th after tapping the box, pulling back, and now we're holding it. So, we might see a retest tomorrow off of 624.12. Let me zoom this in a little bit.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so if that's what you're looking for, that might end up working out. But
I just don't want to happen overnight, and then and then it hits by the time it opens. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you said that, because that can actually happen when the price target is too close. And that has happened to me. You guys have actually, some of you who've been here for a while, watched me on a QQQ put trade that ended up hitting as we got to the end of the day. Now, I told everybody, and obviously myself, I trimmed as we got towards the end of the day, but I said, I don't like this. And somebody was like, why don't you like it, dude? It's falling. And I'm like, that means it's going to gap down, it's going to hit my target, and it's going to bounce before I can TP. And sure as shit, the next day it bounced, and I ended up having to close that trade out for no gain. So it was,
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. So 624.31. Obviously down below. Let's look at the hourly. Okay, so you're sitting on top of that wick. There is empty space down here. So let's look at some potential price targets for you tomorrow. So how we find those through that empty space is, well, what did we get? How did we get here? Shove down, shove down, shove down, pull up, candle close on the floor. Right there, you would have known. Candle expansion, right? So we would like to see if this, then that, right? If this, then that. If that, then this. So those would be your 3 targets tomorrow. And it is a if this, then that situation. We
Are
may
you serious? I got 626, 625, and 624.
Damn, I didn't mean to hype you up. But...
Man, I'm getting good. You're teaching me, bro.
All right.
I'm getting better.
You are getting better. Now, I will say, it is trying to hold itself up, and I'm gonna finish with this on the cues. I'm looking at this setup, and let's just look at this together, guys. All right, just gaze upon it like you're Simba. What the fuck is in my yard? Oh, it's Pate. So let's go back, right? Since November of 2025, the beginning of November, right? We didn't actually go and tap that, but we did gap down, went sideways. We obviously moved through that, held its cost basis, and failed at continuation of the upside. We tried again. We failed. We built again. Sorry. And not to mention the amount of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 4 times. Right? All together in one. Gap down, gap fill, and now we got the floor, and we held it today. So while tomorrow might still without a catalyst, I feel very strongly that this is and could be a setup where I'm not sure if it's going to be earnings. I'm not sure if it's going to be news, but something. And let's also do this. Tell me how eerie or close, right? Besides the chop, it's the same deal. And if you're short right now, it might be that we, in fact, blow these levels out. And when we make a new high, we will be able to tell if it is likely not going to keep moving, because it will open up here as soon as it does. And if it gets tiny little ass candles all in here, we'll know that nobody wants to buy. If it has empty space because of that news that got it there, then we'll have a short opportunity and we'll take it when that opportunity comes. But right now, I've been sitting on the sidelines, catching a trade or two because of this, right? Because right here, this wasn't a great swing trading setup. I'm swing trading. I mean, I would say that this one, if you had something maybe for the end of the week, we're really, really at that point where I think this tension could either blow us to the upside And right now I can't say downside. I just can't because of all that you've done to recover the floor, right? And think again, I try to put people into perspective. Put yourself in the shoes of a seller. And it really does. Shit, I mean, think about how well it helps in real life when you put yourself in the shoes of somebody else. Get their perspective. But think about it from the perspective of a seller. Your job, your sole focus is to make sure that price does not hang on to whatever price level that buyers control or have had control of. Here is obviously one of those areas of control. Even closing up against it or near it, and overnight triggered a pretty strong move to the upside. So if you're a seller, you open up, you move up into this little volume here. Next day, you try, you push it down, you get nothing. Next day, nothing. Next day, nothing. You turn up the heat with a small gap up to resistance, it drives price down again. So at this point, it's been 4 days in a row of trying to get it to let go of the floor. Are you doing your job? Fuck no. You suck at it. You're fired. And so we get an immediate push up. It goes where? To where sellers control the price. Lower time frame. And it gets pulled back again. What do buyers do? They make sure that they keep price. Look, I love being able to walk through this with you guys because while you did go and retest the floor, the candle, which is just you pulling volume off of it, the candle bounces up. And at that point alone, you know it's over. At that candle close, 4-hour time frame, it's over. You're done. You suck. You're fired. And if you put yourself in the perspective of sellers trying to or pushing price down, what drives the market down is also what drives it up, right? Is people trying to push price down, they get squeezed, buyers take advantage, or sometimes one or the other. Sometimes buyers push sellers out, but it's still sellers not being able to pass the baton is how we teach it, which means that when sellers, so for example, this is a perfect example, price opens up underneath something that buyers control. That immediately gives sellers the ball. So if you have even a gap up to resistance can give the sellers the ball because their immediate reaction is to push price as far away as they can from that buy line. So laughing at days trades. Iran wants a deal. Oh shit, they said the magic word. Former U.S. President Trump said Iran is seeking negotiation over its nuclear program. They've called many times. They want to talk. He added that Iran is aware of the U.S. strong military presence nearby and defended U.S.-backed Israeli strikes. Argued that under a different president, Iran would already have nuclear weapons and might have attacked. What the fuck?
That don't mean nothing with anything. By 10 o'clock tonight, all that could change.
So yeah, this person was trying to hate on me. Okay. I can't tell. Seemed like a backhanded comment there. I love that dog picture, by the way. It's the best. So anyway, that's how I feel about the market right now. It's really, really, really tough to be bearish right now on this setup alone. So IWM, that's the only one that does have a sniff of bearishness, but like I just said on the cues, they suck. So I'd love to see where price action, if price action opens up in this range tomorrow, I don't know how far we go down without going all the way back up. I would say you're looking at a nice juicy retest right there, but it would be right there that we would cross over to get it. So what's up, Manny? Bill? RGTI is dumping. Yeah, if you guys have this one, oh, well, it did dump. It did go and hit that floor. It has bounced since then. Huge dump on UNH. Ooh, I hope whoever got that one is hedged. So my theory might have been correct. Might have been. That was that you filled up all of the empty space. Yeah, that was the argument we made yesterday. Was that in the most recent price action, you had filled up that empty space on the lower time frame up to that wick. Now you do have this bear flag. Now what would be really interesting is if it did give it maybe a little dump down here, I'm going to try to find its channel. We might be able to find this thing's bounce before everybody else does, because everybody might be expecting this one to keep dumping, and that would be just too juicy. Keep an eye out for this one tomorrow. If it doesn't lose anything extremely substantial, you might be able to catch a bounce on it now. I don't know if, you know, again, the candle would have to completely reverse, shoot or squeeze sellers out. But yeah, that's interesting. Cool. The channel is just meant to find trend, but using the channel forces you to have some sort of map or math applied to it. So you can't really exist in a world of confirmation bias drawings, because everything is, you know, based off of points of contact. If there is none, then you don't have a channel. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about this, this could be a perfect setup to pull off one of these and then range the shit out of it, kill that earnings volume, and then maybe shoot it up there. Netflix is kind of stalling. How do I choose the day trade stock? I'll show you. I'll show you right now. Tap your screen. I have a specific thing, a specific setup that I am looking for, and it is generally the same across everything. So in this example, I'm looking for structure. Down, we also had it down here. But I'm looking for the 50% mark of a box to get broken and for it to have empty space or no structure in between me and a floor / target. So I look for stocks that have basically had large dumps and have consolidated or built structure or have lost that structure, found new structure, and are now recovering that old structure. This is a sign of strength. This is a sign of buyers returning. This is what I want. It also can look like this, where you just have a couple of overhead resistances and empty space up above. It can look like this, where you have a big base, you built a box, you returned back down. You gap up on the floor, punch through the 50% mark of the box, and you've got empty space up above, and that did end up going and filling all of that up. XYZ, a trade that we've taken recently. Right? Oh, damn. That's what it looks like when you got fucking bad vision. If you got good vision, guys, soak it in. That's what it looks like in a world where you got to wear glasses. That's crazy. It hurts. But anyway, this is I'm good. We're not going to look at that. It hurts my eyes. So, same setup. 1, 2, 3, candle close outside of it, empty space, fill up the empty space, take profit, get the fuck out. Do I ever take it, fundamentals in mind? Gavin, yes, I am a swing trader. Do I take fundamentals in mind? Do I ever look at a stock's numbers or earnings calls or anything of that nature? Absolutely not. Never. I don't know how these companies are doing. I am convinced now at this point in my life that the less I know, the better. I know some of you guys are thinking of a song right now. I know what that song is. But seriously, the less I and it's not it's a form of ignorance is bliss, but it's also a form of what the fuck does it matter? If institutions are buying it, listen, it doesn't matter at all. Because I traded Nikola on strictly, and they had no numbers. Their numbers were fudged. Their shit was fucked. I've traded companies that turned around and never came back because their numbers sucked. Shit, I'm sure that Zoom, which ripped today, probably sucks. I would assume that their fundamentals suck. I mean, but the more that I trade empty space, the more I'm convinced that's all I need to focus on. And the only thing that deters me, right? And this could be considered fundamentals too, in a sense, right? Is there's no volume. It's let's see, Shop is usually a decent. No, Shop's not a good example. Verizon, right? This is not something that I want to typically be trading. It's a dinosaur, right? So it actually doesn't even move very well. Volume wise, it's probably there, but trading volume wise, it's not, right? So it's the stocks that come in and out of focus. Tesla, right? It comes in and out of focus. Occasionally, the contracts outside of the money are $500, $600, and sometimes they're $25 and they're $50, and everybody's forgotten about old Tessie until it rips. So, do I set a swing trade scanner? My Discord is the scanner. We are the scanner. I know that some of them use scanners, but I mean, Potter, confirm that the moon cycle helps. I can't do that for you, man. I can't say that it doesn't either. I would move. I would take that and I would talk to Shirley. Shirley can definitely give you some more insight. Listen, there was this lady who used to do it with the moon cycles, but I'll be damned if I trade off the moon. What strike price is the moon telling me to take? I don't know. Netflix. After today's candle, man, I'm thinking it really needs a retest. And here's what I would like to see. I would like to, and we're probably not going to like it, but I'd like to see A, 84.81, or B, down in that 83.87, fill up that empty space from before and then retest. If not, come down, bounce, retest, and then maybe we can get it there. So, but right now the empty space is still above us. We have empty space leading. We need to move over 86.29 right now. So, ONDS chart. Is UNH still dumping? If you're short on this one, it doesn't look bad today. Next target's 1050. Second target's 984. Zoom? Oh, that one's already fucking gone. How many of you guys in the Discord got Zoom? I know some of you guys were asked me about it about 20 times in the last month. I don't think maybe not anybody. Retest? I don't know about a retest, man. Yeah, I'd be worried about a what happened? What was the news on that? Does anybody know? Oh, boosted by its 51 million investment in AI startup Anthropic rumored to be planning an IPO. So what are they going to invest their way out of their hole? That could be good. Sims, bro. I would be looking 100. I think I have an alert set actually. Yeah, I do. I need CRM over 233.50. Got a nice play up there. Yeah, if it can get up there, I like it a lot. But you're here in that journey. So yeah, I do like it down. Yeah, it looks great. Randy Trades, are you dead? Are you dead? Why do you got a skull there, buddy? All right. Not bad today though. In terms of not dying. Other than that, I hope you guys were able to catch some individual equities. Looks like Intel, silver people. You guys obviously had a pretty kick-ass day. Shep. That's a lot. Not bad. All right. Let's do it again tomorrow. You said what? Fast has a big green candle in after hours? Well, it can't hurt. Actually, it could if it doesn't gap up high enough. After hours. Oh my god. Are you long on that one, dude? That actually looks just like QQQ. I'm starting to catch on to something here. That's crazy. You make this weird base, you break out, then you fucking just dump right through it. Ugh. Long gold here. Why not long it off of that? I would say structure right around there. If you were trading gold. You have some wicks, but the gap is right there, so. That box on Google. Okay, so let's figure this out. What is the time frame? 1 hour. So the reason that box looks so irregular on that hourly is because it was a box that filled up the empty space, then punched down through itself. But in respect to that time frame, yeah, you are correct. That's a good box. Your box is good, Mr. Illegal Man. Yeah, it's a W. Yeah, you're good on that one. Look at you, man. Good job, dude. I gotta guess your age, dude. You gotta be you're 19. Are you 19? That's crazy. I nailed it. That's Jorge right there. I gotta give a shout out to Jorge because he really keeps me up on the up the game on the language. He said W or nah, and that's when I knew. What a guess! What a guess! That was pretty good. All right,
You're on it, coach.
getting pretty good with this shit, man. Soon I'll be cooler than Ale, dude. He'll be like 18. I'll be like fucking
In a
can't see
blink.
me, dude. Yeah. Oh man, he's already flying up there. All right. Can I get a kiss now? Nah, man. You got to make profit on these charts. Where you get kisses, dude. Nah, what the fuck?
Here we go. The witching hour.
Yeah, nah, we got to get out of here before that happens. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Get some rest. Hopefully, if you guys have any boo-boos, you know, again, as long as you stayed within your risk. Tomorrow's a new day. We'll wake up in the morning. If we don't see anything solid, Jesus Christ. When did you buy those PB and jelly now? Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Oh my God. Silver, closed, empty space. What did gold just do? Did it retest yet? Mamma mia. Sorry if you're Italian. So right there, that would be step one to getting back up, but all that happened so quick you could use the 1 minute. Just know where you're at on the higher time frame. Not a great response off of that floor, but all right. Peace out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Night night.